which we'll see. Hello everybody, my name is Deltarsa, and today we're doing a reaction video. So, we're checking into Foundry again. Anyways, let's begin. We know that they do a good job, doesn't matter what it is, so we're just gonna enjoy it.
A villain is a bad guy. That much
Yes.
we can take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are anti-heroes and anti-villains and non-villainous antagonist characters who just get in the way, but a villain is a villain.
Yes.
These are the characters bound to do something bad. The characters who are heroes are duty-bound to stand against.
I feel like we're going to go into the twist of what if the villain is the protagonist?
Because otherwise they might get away with some truly evil behavior.
Or is it something else?
For instance, melting all the world's chocolate? Or, say, stealing Mount Rushmore? Yes, indeed. Villains sure are evil 100% of the time, especially the ones who gleefully describe themselves that way. You know the type. The ones with no real motive except to be the villain. Those mustache twirlers and lab coat wearers who just really love to use
my
the
freeze
word
way,
even though they very clearly have no idea what it means.
Dr. Doofus merch.
Yep. No greater evil in this world than this, our beloved but barely qualified ne'er-do-well, the villain in name only.
Oh god. The introduction. The one true love of this. No, I'm kidding. But seriously though, the introduction for this is beautiful.
One of the best things in life is learning, which is probably why you're here to begin with.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not everyone learns the same.
True.
Public school is not a one-size-fits-all option, and
no.
I don't really think it ever can be.
It shouldn't.
As a result, a lot of us creative types end up missing out on a lot of precious education. Fortunately, there is a shockingly easy, fun, and highly personalized way to get an education right from home. Learn all of your fundamentals, maths, sciences, computer programming, and more with our sponsor, Brilliant. Visit brilliant.org/TaleFoundry to get 30 days for free and 20% off a year subscription. Seriously, this is the most fun you'll probably ever have learning this stuff. Try it out for free and be as brilliant as I know that you can be. The first thing that comes to mind when you think of villains that are not actually very villainous might just be the really pathetic ones. The kind you find a lot in cartoons and sitcoms who have big, evil dreams but just don't really have what it takes to realize them.
Infantile
villains.
Because
they're too tiny and cute for fear and worship. I think Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants is kind of the quintessential example of this. He's literally a single-celled organism, and still nevertheless trying to achieve world domination one stolen burger recipe at a time. And he's painfully aware of this fact too.
But it's becoming increasingly obvious. I can deny it no longer! I am small.
But that doesn't really change the fact that he really is evil. Just
he's a truly awful being.
His evil dreams doesn't change their true nature. In the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, he's actually able to get his hands on something which makes that key weakness irrelevant, the magical crown of Neptune. And with that obstacle out of the way, we see what the world would be like if he could fulfill his wishes. A dystopian hellscape where everyone has been brainwashed and enslaved, and they spend their lives building monuments to their single-celled overlord. Characters like Plankton are goofy and fun to watch because they're farcical. If they could win, it would be terrifying, but they can't, and because of their bad intentions, it's funny to watch them try and fail. But make no mistake, they are still bad guys.
Yeah, no.
They are evil.
You would probably be like, aha, you can't hit me with your little fist. But if you fall asleep near one of these motherfuckers, they will stab you. If they get the chance, they will become monsters. Truly evil beings. I love them. They're cute.
Even if they can't act on it successfully. What I'm really talking about in this video are the villains who self-identify as evil, but just aren't. The trick to making good villains, I have often been told, is to make them three-dimensional characters with their own complex backstory and rational motives.
I disagree with this.
Don't just make them evil for no reason. After all, we're each the hero of our own story, aren't we? Nobody thinks they're the bad guy, right?
I disagree.
Well, not quite. It's a bit less common, but even in real life, there are those who revel in the idea of evil for its own sake. Criminals
Yeah.
and deviants who just like this kind of thing. In fiction, it gets taken to a ridiculous extreme.
Hello, Astro.
Villains who are proud of their dastardly.
There's a one in this old Disney Channel show, I think. Also, hi. Which Disney show? Which Disney show are you talking about, Astro? By the way, I've just started reading chat. I was so used to not paying attention. Okay. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, the villain who aren't actually evil. Yeah. Obviously we got Dr. Doofenshmirtz, right? Really good man, but he's kind of evil. I'd say he's evil in the room with his brother, but outside of that, he's like normally pretty chill.
Dastardly deeds who join organizations with evil in the name, who print it on their business cards. But evil, is supposed to refer to, immoral stuff? Things we find reprehensible? For someone to call themselves evil in this way implies that they see themselves as those things. But the villains I'm talking about don't.
Wait a damn second. Bowl cut? Glasses? Is this that motherfucker from the, what was it? The villain movie. Despicable Me. Is that the Despicable Me fucker?
Really seem to? To these characters,
yeah, it is.
It's almost like evil.
It is his ass. I knew it.
Completely different. I don't watch.
You can't get me past his silhouette. You can tell that. It goes by the fucking the good character design rules. If your silhouette's super recognizable, I can immediately tell who he was. I was about to brutally kill a vampire, but sadly my DM had to end it early. Aw, that sucks. I wish your D&D game could have actually gotten to this conclusion. But, look on the bright side. You get to start next session driving the stake directly into his chest. Upon which, you get to drill a hole in and use it like a Slurpee and gain some vampirism if you want it.
A lot of Saturday Night Live, as you can probably imagine, but there is one skit I've seen that sort of captures this perfectly.
What?
It's a little dark, so buckle up. It's about a group of supervillains competing in a world's most evil invention contest. One villain predictably shows up with a shrink ray to shrink all the world's monuments. Another, of course, shows up with a freeze ray to encase them all in ice.
Yes.
And then, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shows up with his evil invention, a robotic sex predator. The crowd of villains is instantly appalled. Confused, he reminds them that this is a most evil invention competition. Benito Mussolini used to force-feed people castor oil until they literally died of diarrhea, he said.
You know what? I'd prefer the castor oil over the robot. Yeah, I'd prefer the castor oil over the robot.
Baffled.
That's less dramatic.
That's gotta be where the goalposts
Also,
are,
the paladin was holding me back from doing it, though. Hold up. Why the fuck was your paladin stopping you from murdering the vampire? You gotta explain me the lore now. You gotta tell me. You can't just be dropping details on me and not expect me to lore them, though.
He's not wrong. You would think so, right? But this is not a room full of true villains he's talking to. This is a room full of the G-rated Saturday morning cartoon brand of villains. The evil they get up to tends to be more unpleasant,
mischievous,
but rarely ever morally reprehensible, which explains their shock when this guy walks in with an actual evil plan. The movie Despicable Me gives us a really good profile for this kind of villain. Gru, the supervillain mastermind, decides that he wants to steal the moon. Now, if you were actually to do that in real life, you would be fucked. An apocalyptic surge of natural disasters as the Earth's orbit destabilizes and begins to wobble on its axis. But the movie doesn't mention that at all. Gru has no interest in causing floods, storms, and mass extinctions. He just wants to steal the moon to prove how quote-unquote evil he is. Especially to the new villain who just stole the pyramids of Giza, for equally goofy reasons. In fact, these two are literally competing to prove their evilness. The way they carry themselves.
Also, I'm gonna say this right here, right now. My proper way of doing an evil, if I had to bring an evil invention to a competition, I would walk in, shoot the crowd, and walk out. Because that would be my way of proving that I am evil. I am truly a menace and am diabolical. For I did not compete with you. I eliminated the competition. Or at least that's how I would write an actually evil person. You're not gonna fucking sit there and discuss inventions with me. I'm going to then rob you of all your inventions and walk out with whatever you had.
You might as well replace the word evil with cool here.
Yeah.
Gru isn't exactly a nice guy, at least not at first. Early in the movie, he's shown doing things like popping a child's balloon just to upset them. But that doesn't really make him evil, does it?
He's just a
It just
dick.
makes him kind of a jerk. And it seems that, just like stealing the moon, his main motivation for doing it is simply to build his villain cred. Look, Gru is mean to children. How can you possibly say that he's anything but evil? In this sense, evil is almost a costume to him, a
Yeah.
persona, or as the kids would say, an aesthetic. Which brings me to something that might seem a little detached. An example you probably weren't anticipating. Pirates. I know.
Wait, hold up. Let me go back. But didn't Groot kill those people in that coffee shop? It's arguable if he killed them or not, purely because of how much goofy shit happens in those movies. It doesn't make sense. So there's some tune logic you can apply if you want to really wank it. But more than likely, some of them had to have at least suffocated. Probably. And if they didn't suffocate, it's so weird, right? Because I would like to apply the, maybe not. But then again, fuck it. Let's add that to the body count real quick. Let's go back just a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bodies on the board. He killed 6 people. Congratulations.
To him, a persona, or as the kids would say, an aesthetic. Which brings me to something that might seem a little detached. An example you probably weren't anticipating. Pirates. I know, kind of a weird pull, but think about it. Pirates were literal criminals of the sea.
Yeah.
They didn't just pillage and plunder and rifle and loot like in the song. They also killed, raped, and burned towns.
Yeah.
They were not good guys by any means. They were
Are you about to bring up fucking One Piece? Because if so, good job. If not, I don't know where the hell you're going with this.
scary. Evil is a very applicable term here. But now, look at their legacy.
Oh
Somehow, over the
god.
course of generations, pirates have become this sort of fun costume that characters wear. The fantastical ships, the hook hands, the peg legs, the made-up acts, the comedic birds. If anything, pirates are kind of difficult not to love these days. In fact, this character has so eclipsed the historical reality of pirates as thieves that now you get truly bizarre depictions like...
Excuse me. Oh my god, No! You made me remember this existed. Stop it! Stop it! You can't do this to me! You can't hit me with a fucking flashback! I remember watching this when I was far too old to be watching this. I was too old to be watching this shit. To be fair, I moved on from this and joined a properly good show, which was um MLP and Steve Universe. Those are proper good alternatives.
this. It almost seems like people naturally latch on to this idea that being quote-unquote evil, that is a little naughty, a little devious, a little unrepentant,
Yeah,
is
no.
pretty fun. So I guess it's no surprise.
To be fair, I like the idea that why did you rob the bank? Did you need the money? Were you trying to feed a family? Nah. Are you doing it to destabilize the economy? Nah. Have you done it for the purpose of maybe retribution against the owner of the bank? Ah. Then why have you done it? I did it merely because I wanted to test out my parkour skills and I was bored. Like, this is the type of energy that we're getting for these
Nice
types
to
of
see
villains.
pirates and supervillains sort of subverted in this way and made relatively harmless. Even
Yeah!
though, they still call themselves villains. In a way, you could say it's almost a performance.
Yeah?
Actually, there are honestly a lot of villains who literally just aren't villainous at all. They just have that title. Some of them were
Oh my
forced
god,
into it,
Wreck-It
like
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph,
I literally made a reference to this earlier with the I am a bad guy, but I am not a bad guy.
who was basically cast as a villain against his will, and in fact finds it so unpleasant that he goes to group therapy with a bunch of other villains specifically to help him deal with it. Just because you're a bad guy
Aww.
doesn't mean you're a bad guy. But I think
Oh
the
my
truest
god.
interpretation of this villain in name only thing is the kind who isn't really a villain at all and still chooses to be, like, as a career path.
What?
Think about how many villains want to take over the world, for instance.
Yeah.
Think about how vague that is. It could be evil, like establishing a global authoritarian regime,
Yeah.
but like Gru and his plan to take the moon, most of these characters aren't really thinking about anything like that. They specify these vague, impossibly grand ambitions, but give precious little detail about how or why they're going to fulfill them. Almost as if they
Performance.
don't truly believe
Oh my god, the entire thing is about performance of villains.
they can. In the movie Megamind, the main character was basically assigned
Aww.
the role of
It's
villain
a
at
little
birth,
baby
but
man.
unlike Ralph, he embraces it. When he eventually manages to defeat his arch-nemesis Metro Man, Megamind is
Believes he
shocked.
can.
He and his sidekick go on a short celebratory crime spree, reveling in their sudden access to power and money. But, as it turns out,
No, you can't. Oh
without a
my
hero to
god, I
thwart
love this
them, they
movie.
quickly grow bored and depressed. See, Megamind
He did
never
it for
really
fun.
wanted to kill Metro Man and take over the city. He just liked coming up with evil inventions and schemes and testing them against the hero, like a years-long sparring match. But as soon as that dynamic is over,
Hold up, let me retry again. I forgot to read. So like that guy wasn't really a vampire, and so the paladin was trying to stop me from killing an innocent person. Okay. I feel like I put the wrong emotions into it. Like that guy wasn't really a vampire, and so the paladin was trying to stop me from killing an innocent person. And like, is it really innocent if I believe that they're a vampire at heart? Like they just happen to have like never stepped into the light, so I just thought that they were, like it was a little bit inferences and shit, Let me put like 4 stakes in between your chest and your sternum. Wait, no, between your spine and your sternum. I'll send the stakes a little bit deeper. Anyways, he was sucking okay, so he was sucking blood out of a person. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit weird. Yeah, if I see a dude in a fantasy world sucking blood out of somebody, I'd be like, okay, vampire, stab it already. Stab it already.
he loses interest in evil very
What was
quickly.
he then?
He even tries to make his own superhero replacement for Metro Man.
Oh
Of
god.
course, that goes terribly wrong, and he actually ends up creating a true villain with actual evil intentions. And when the script flips and Megamind assumes the role of a hero, we realize the truth. He was never really evil, he just liked the sound of it. It doesn't really have to be a story arc like that, though. Not all of these
Yeah.
performative villains are secretly heroes beneath it all.
Nah.
Some really just love the
An
idea
emo
of
crazy
being a
person? Yep.
villain. And I can think of no better example of a fully committed, passionate, there for his own special brand of evil, villain in name only, than Dr. Heinz
Yeah!
in the show
The boy!
Phineas and Ferb.
The man! The
This
one and
man
only!
owns his own corporation called
Heinz! Blank,
Doofenshmirtz
blank,
Evil
Doofenshmirtz,
Incorporated
because I don't
with a
remember
catchy
that
commercial
anything else.
jingle and everything. He owns a
Doofenshmirtz
building with the word evil written on
Incorporated!
it in giant letters. He is the quintessential proud.
Wait, an emo crazy person that your druid wanted to fuck. Is it bad? I want to ask. Is this an animal person? Were they a centaur or a satyr? Just asking. Anyways,
Supervillain, and his plans are usually no more objectionable than deflating the city's bouncy houses.
would it be rude? It was a goblin. Oh damn it! I was about to say, would it be rude if it's a werewolf? And you said I want to do it doggy style. Anyways,
He doesn't even want to take over the world, just the tri-state area. Remember earlier when I said that a good villain has a complex backstory?
oh god,
is basically a parody of that entire trope. Each of his evil devices is inspired by some bizarre, implausible anecdote from his hilariously tragic backstory.
bro. I want someone to make a actual like timeline of all of his backstories, just so we can see the timeline of how shit his life must be.
His father used him as a lawn gnome, so he builds his Destructinator to destroy all lawn gnomes in the tri-state area. His mother's love was inexplicably linked to kickball, so he creates the Kickinator 5000 to win the kickball
Oh my god,
game at
all
his
the
family
innators.
reunion. Neither of his parents showed up for his birth, so he invents the nefariously named Slavinator, which
What?
of course he uses to force people to attend his birthday party. On top of everything, Doofenshmirtz models this archetype beautifully through his attachment to his heroic nemesis, Perry the Platypus.
Perry the Platypus?
To show off his schemes to Perry. He gets upset when Perry doesn't show up to thwart him. Like Megamind, a suspiciously large portion of his planning seems to be aimed at just catching the hero's attention. But for Perry and Doof, the bond goes deeper. The show paints their nemesis relationship as almost romantic, complete with cheating, jealousy, and a whole love song.
Fair.
When Doof's Kickinator
I was gonna say, like, it wasn't really love, but then the jealousy, all the other shit. Yeah, that's a little bit. I was gonna say, like, it's pretty platonic. Never mind. It's just not okay. So it's romantic, but not sensual. Anyways, let's reach out again. Yeah, I'm a holy rogue who works for a corrupt religious sect of the sun god. Ah, hallelujah, hallelujah. As you just stab a man. Actually, that would be fucking crazy as like the background music for like a really brutal fight scene. You're just beating someone with a brick in a sock filled with rabbits. Don't ask why that came to my mind already. Anyways,
backfires on him, causing his mother to lavish attention on his brother Roger instead. Perry is the one who comforts him. Needless to say, pretty much none of his schemes are successful. That's okay, because for him, success isn't the point. For Doofenshmirtz, evil is more about the journey than the destination. It doesn't matter whether you win in the end, as long as everyone had fun. I do think fun is at the heart of this whole trope, which is probably why it mainly shows up in comedy. But what about when the fun runs out? Where does playing villain...
To be fair, we're about to get. I think he's about to get to the part of where. Are we getting to like my favorite type of villains? Or at least some of my favorite villains are the ones where they start out as jokes and they're not even serious about it themselves. But then we get to see the thing that made them go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna kill everyone, everything, anyone who dares get in my way. You stand before me, I'll chop you down. I'll cut your knee, slash your ACL, and then I'll put my blade directly through your wrist. And when you're screaming out, hollering for your mama, I'll put my damn meat hook in your face. Anyways, did I tell you that the vampires have rights in this world? So vampires have rights, and you were going to kill him. So, we're watching a video on villains, and while the villains we're watching are not truly evil, yeah, you might be a little bit on that villainous tier list, you know, just a bit, just a smidgen, or at least the character is. If they have rights and you just immediately kill them because of who they are, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Cease to be play. There's a mini-series that came out back in 2008 uniquely suited to answer this question.
What?
You might even remember it. It's called Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog. It's about a young, up-and-coming supervillain desperately trying to secure...
Astral? Oh, you watch this? I don't think I have. No, I definitely haven't. I don't recognize his face at all. But, Astro, I'm gonna say this right now. The excuse of, oh, it's a part of my religion. I don't know about that one. Like, there's a lot of excuses that can go out, but I don't know about that one.
your membership in the premier villain organization, the Evil League of Evil. After he messes up one too many times, he's told that his only chance to get in is to commit a murder. Something Dr. Horrible, who up until now has only used a freeze ray, stun gun, and remote control van, finds distasteful. Nevertheless, under the pressure to prove himself as a villain, he makes plans to convert his stun ray into a death ray and take out his superhero nemesis, who's honestly a huge jerk and really hard to feel bad for anyway.
Yeah.
But then, during the faithful moment, things go awry and the device ends up killing someone else instead. Someone he cares about deeply.
Fuck.
Technically counts as a murder, and in the scuffle, he does technically defeat his nemesis. So, technically, his dreams are coming true. The last we see of Dr. Horrible, he's a shell of his former self, empty, numb, and a certified member of the Evil League of Evil. He has everything he ever wanted, the world at his feet, but he's miserable. He has...
That's actually a really good origin story for a true monster. Especially one that could possibly be redeemable. He's like, oh, why are you so evil? I killed the one person I loved. Oh my god. And I killed my hero at the same time. Oh my god. And now there's no one who could stop me and no one to hold me back. So if I pass... No, not if I pass, but if I move upon this path, everything will burn as I bring flames behind me. Die! Like, that type of shit. Anyways, what was it you said? Damn, you watch this. It's a musical, and it's a fun watch if you have time. Nice. Would you know how long it was?
has become the other kind of worst villain ever. The kind who is good at being evil.
Ah, shit.
Don't get me wrong, I love a well-written, serious villain as much as anybody else, but I think
1
there's
hour?
something really
Okay.
interesting in this archetype. I think villains are especially prone to tumbling into melodramatics, getting so caught up in their tragic backstory and their circuitous motivations that they kind of stop being fun. In the effort to be taken seriously, it seems like so many villains end up bogged down by rules and expectations.
I'm gonna say this right here, right now. The best villains are the ones who don't give a singular fuck who you are. It's like, did you just save that child? Yeah, I did. Oh, you have a heart. No, no. I just killed his mom. I'm gonna go to him later when he's at his funeral. I'm gonna look him in the eyes when I tell him I did it. I just wanted to make sure he was alive for then. Like, there's a lot of, like, you don't have to be over the top evil. You could just be a truly demented fucker.
For what it means to be a
Evil.
villain. But not these ones. Remember, these are villains in name only. They're pretty much categorically opposed to seriousness. It's okay if they break the rules and do their own thing. They don't want to accomplish anything meaningful or morally repulsive. They just want to make a statement.
Yeah.
And that statement is, wow, check out how evil I am. Yes, technically it makes them some of the worst villains ever, but it also makes them some of the funnest.
Yeah.
Unlike them, however, you probably do want to accomplish something meaningful with your life, right? As
Kinda.
fun as these characters are in fiction, we all want to be competent, at least.
Sometimes.
Unfortunately, it's pretty easy to feel left behind where education is concerned. Public school isn't really a one-size-fits-all solution,
I'm gonna let
as
this
seeking your
play
own education is
because watch
increasingly
time. I
reserved
want them to
for
get it.
people with
Also, I
enough
should have
money to
liked
pay
this a long
for
time
it.
ago, but I very much
But it
enjoyed this.
doesn't have to be
Go
that
into the link
way.
to the description and support
Our
the original
sponsor,
people. Their
Brilliant.org,
Patreon will be
can
down
make
there.
all of
There's
that
no
far
excuses for
more
you.
affordable and
Support the
far more
original people.
fun than it's ever
And they're
been
brilliant as
before.
well. Yeah.
Brilliant really has been helping me broaden my horizons. I can always go to the site, click
Also,
into
my
a class,
computer
pick up
character
where I
had
left
killed his
off,
parents
and
because
take
his
in a
religion said
bite-sized
so.
piece of the fundamentals I've been
Jesus.
missing. Whether it's maths, science,
Mama,
physics, anything and
I
everything
just
STEM,
killed a
Brilliant
dad.
has something for you.
Wait, no. Wait, how did the song go? Mama, I just killed a man. Fuck, I don't remember the damn way his voice sounds. You know what? We're playing that after we're done with this video. Just so I can sing along.
Lately for me, it was Brilliant's Thinking in Code class, which I feel is oddly appropriate for me. I can really feel
Of
it
course, the
just
robot's thinking in
opening up a
code.
whole new world to me that I had almost no idea was there before. Slowly but surely, as I educate myself in this way, the AI revolution isn't looking quite so intimidating anymore. And to be perfectly honest, it doesn't even really feel like studying. A lot of what you
It's
do on
just
Brilliant
games.
might be better classified as mini-games.
Yeah.
Look how interactive and fun these are. This one even has robots. Because Brilliant is so
A little
simple,
bias never
moves
hurts.
at your pace, and starts at the very fundamentals,
And process
this
gets
is actually
adopted by a
something
priest
that's
that
really
said to kill his
sinking for
parents.
me.
Ah,
Almost like a personal tutor or coach. A legitimate,
interesting.
accessible, affordable, easy education, even for someone like me, with my head in the clouds and my face ever buried in fiction. And the best part? You can start for free. Visit brilliant.org/talefoundry or click the link in the description to get your first 30 days for free. The first 200 Tale Foundry fans to sign up for a yearly subscription to Brilliant will get 20% off, so definitely hurry. Those slots are going to fill up fast. Again, visit brilliant.org/talefoundry to get your first 30 days for free and 20% off a year subscription. Don't let something as simple as a lack of education hold you back. Try this out for free and be as brilliant as I know that you can be. Anyway, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching and keep making stuff up. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Anyways, bye everybody. Have a lovely day. And well, I already told you what to tell them to do. But for me, at least, check out my links in the description. Mine is literally just the one link at the very bottom. It's my link tree. The one I would really like you to support is my Fiverr. Okay, I take 3D commissions for models, and it's $10. Yeah, just make sure you give me a ref. That way I can actually work with something. And yeah, please have a lovely day, everybody. If you want to like, you can like because you enjoyed the video. Comment because you have literally anything to say. I try to respond to people. Though if you don't get a comment, it's probably because you didn't say something that was like a question or something, or I just didn't know what to say to respond to that. And then you can subscribe because you think I'm worthy of your subscription, and or someone that you want to come back around and support. Please. It's up to you, but do it if you feel like it. Okay.